fifth largest IPO in Minnesota's history. $200 million we raised, $1.4 billion market cap. January 3rd, 1998, I had an accident. I was in the hospital, went through a trial, went to jail, got out, got my career back. December 7th, 2001, in less time than it took you to get your degrees, I went from convict to CEO. Convict to CEO. That's a story of perseverance, but more importantly, that's a story of faith and hope.
I've heard him speak multiple times. He's honest and straightforward. Tells it like it is.
Jay was incredibly awesome, and the business acumen that he can share with audiences.
He had a lot of insight. I think he has a lot to offer to our business community.
He's got a lot of wisdom. I've heard him speak a number of times. Just a really moving story.
I want you to picture a skinny white kid on the back of a flatbed truck driving through the ghettos of Philadelphia. You see, it's the early 70s, and I'm with my dad. And one of the 3 jobs he always had was on Fridays and Saturdays was delivering beer. And we would deliver beer in the ghettos of Philadelphia. And it would be 6, 7 o'clock at night, it'd be late, and I'd be standing there with a case of beer, and we're at the door, and my dad'd be pounding, and he'd scream, "Beer man!" And I don't know what it's like in the ghettos today, but in those days, they didn't answer the door. They would yell from the window. They would scream, "I ordered that beer at 10 o'clock in the morning, where have you been?" My dad would scream up, "Do you want it or not?" And then he looked at me, he always did this, he goes, "They always want it." So I guess if you're willing to deliver beer in the ghettos in the 70s, customer service really doesn't matter.
His ability to really connect with everyone. I've just met him, and he connects.
Jay's presentation was great. Jay's an amazing speaker. I've heard his story multiple times. His message is a great message, a message of perseverance. He delivers the message with so much conviction and so much power.
He's got a great story to tell. It was outstanding. I mean, it's a unique story. He's a very good coach. He's a natural.
One is, I've never met anybody that's successful at everything they do. I've met a lot of talented, successful business people, but maybe their golf game's terrible. Or maybe they're struggling with something at home. I've never met anybody that's successful at everything they do.
He really does motivate people to look at themselves, to try to look across all spectrums of their lives and make it better. So he's awesome.
Good message, good delivery. It's the key to long-term success.
Jay always tells you the last 10%, which most people don't tell you.
January 3rd, 1998. My parents are in town from Philadelphia visiting us here in Minnesota. They're in for the holidays. My dad and I go out that morning. We go out to a local hunt club. We go out to this club, and after we went hunting, we stopped at the bar. Stopped at the bar, and I drank too much. I was driving home drunk. I missed a turn. I went down a hill, and I hit a train at 60 miles an hour. I don't remember much, but what I do remember is waking up in Hennepin County Trauma Medical Center, and I am a mess. And I am in a lot of pain. And I'm trying to figure things out. And I look up, and I see my wife, and I see my mom, and I can see something is terribly wrong. And my mom leaned down to me, and she said, "Your dad didn't make it." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Your dad didn't make it." And I'm gonna tell you, you don't know what pain is until you hear something like that. You go to a place so ugly, I can only describe it as hell.
His message is really powerful. Just the story of how he overcame the adversity he did, it's very inspiring and motivational.
The reality was, they were letting their circumstances define who they were. They were letting the circumstances, the job they took without thinking through the career that they got some expertise in.
I just met him, and he's fabulous.
He's a compelling speaker.
Oh, Jay's outstanding. He's a man with values and a lot of integrity.
He's doing what he should be doing. Anytime you can take your own life experiences and transfer them into different parts of your life, and use it as a lamppost or a guide. That helps other people.
About midway through this event, the long-haired guy with the tattoos gets up and he's going to preach. And he goes, "Yo, dudes, hey, this is sick what these guys are doing." And I'm going, "Sick? Somebody getting sick? Somebody getting sick?" I couldn't understand what this guy was talking about. He went off for about 50 minutes. He was passionate when he quoted scripture. I could hear it. But outside of that, he was using a language I didn't understand. And he goes, "I'm going to do an altar call." And he says a prayer. He says a prayer exactly the same or similar to the prayer that I said in that hospital bed that day. And he said, "You know what, dudes? If any of you have actually accepted Christ in your life, let me see, raise your hand." And he goes, "Better than that. If you accepted Christ, why don't you come on down into the middle of this arena right here?" And I'm thinking, this is going to be embarrassing. This is going to be a disaster. Nobody's listening to this guy. Who's listening to this guy? And all of a sudden, 2 teenage boys walk in, and then 2 more, and then 10 more, and then hundreds of teenage boys walk onto that exhibit floor, and I get humbled. And I realized at that moment why God let a convict become a CEO. It was at that moment. And so, therefore, to you, I'll leave you with this. No matter where you go or what you do, let God work through you to change other people's lives. Thank you very much, and God bless.
You got to be able to have confidence as you go through this journey, meaning you got to be bold in the face of all sorts of difficulties, and you have to be in balance.